You would assume that the relationship between China and the United States is highly heated when we talk about it, yet many years ago, things were much more peaceful between the two countries. Additionally, China contributed to the construction of a $7.2 billion quasi bridge that can support 1,500 people in the United States. During the year, there was a significant earthquake, and this time, the Oakland Bay Bridge provided a chance for cooperation. The first sea-crossing bridge constructed in China is the New Bay Bridge in the United States. The bridge is situated on the west coast of the United States, in the San Francisco Bay Area. Being the greatest span, single tower, seismic suspension, steel bridge in the whole world, few people are aware that it was manufactured in China. This bridge has the widest span among globally comparable steel construction bridges and the highest level of technical difficulty among single tower, seismic suspension bridges. There are 12 lanes in each direction along the 2.88-kilometer long bridge. It spans the ocean and can withstand an 8 on the Richter scale. The sea crossing bridge has a $6.4 billion price tag. It is a brand new bridge that connects Oakland with San Francisco. Strong earthquakes that occur within 1,500 years won't damage the sea bridge. Perhaps you will ask a question as well. The strength of the American infrastructure is comparable to that of China. Why should China be given the bridge? The Oakland Bay Bridge is to blame for everything. California's San Francisco is home to the Oakland Bay Bridge. Before the Second World War, the United States constructed it, and it only took 3 years to finish. It is clear that at the time, the United States had the best infrastructure in the whole globe. Opened to traffic formally in 1936, the bridge links the 3 significant cities of Oakland, Yerba Buena Island, and San Francisco. The largest city in the country was one of the most expensive ventures, costing the United States $77 million. Due to its magnificent magnitude, it was also one of the biggest bridges in the world at the time, drawing visitors from all over the globe. This bridge rose to prominence as the top tourist destination at the period. After that, the bridge may be used by both construction vehicles and trains, which was quite uncommon at the time for a dual function. I have to acknowledge that the engineers and designers of the bridge created a pretty cool bridge. I believe the bridge could last 100 years in safety, but I didn't think its path would be very difficult. Not only did this bridge cause several fatalities, but its upkeep alone was expensive. Due to faulty operation, a Navy training plane crashed into the Oakland Bay Bridge in 1968. The force of the aircraft opening again after repair caused the bridge to be destroyed in this tragedy, in addition to the deaths of the 2 Navy personnel aboard. I didn't anticipate the twists and turns to return after that, though. On the bridge, there was yet another mishap. 3 oncoming automobiles were damaged when the bridge's support system collapsed. Thankfully, nobody was hurt this time. A month later, it was finally given the go-ahead. Additionally, this reinforcement had concealed threats similar to those left by the Oakland Bay Bridge after many repairs. At least 270,000 cars pass across the double-deck deck of the bridge that connects the 3 cities each day. The weight that the bridge must support is tremendous. On one of the historic bridges, people have gathered over the years. The eye-stem of the bridge was discovered to have a visible crack, which allowed for the repair work to be completed concurrently with the pavement replacement work. The contractor for the bridge once again overhauled the structure, but this time the FHA report was reviewed and approved, and the bridge broke again, which also helped to set up the subsequent accident. In 1989, a regrettable incident occurred once more. A 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit the bridge. 1 person died as a consequence of the road surface collapsing and the bridge being severely damaged by the earthquake. The earthquake caused serious damage to the Bay Bridge, rendering it inaccessible and completely halting local traffic. Local authorities required the quickest reinforcement and bridge repairs after the earthquake to resume bridge traffic. They were, however, quite dissatisfied with the contractor's repair job after these few occasions. This time, the contractor was not given control of the bridge restoration. They made the decision to spend $6.4 billion to enlist the aid of Japan, Germany, and Russia. These 3 nations are keeping an eye on the harm to the bridge's true condition. They believe that their engineering staff would be unable to fix it. At this point, Russia suggested to the United States the Chinese engineering team. The Chinese engineering team took over the project and independently produced 4 tons exactly because of this. the massive steel components were transported to the US. One by one, the bridges were examined and the components were reinforced and restored. Additionally, the parts were less expensive than the original contractors' parts. The whole cost of the repairs prevented the US from losing $300 million. In the end, the entire bridge was quickly and completely reconstructed. More than 30 years have gone since then. The bridge has been operating without incident. It is important to note that the Chinese engineering team was first considered by the United States when they decided to build a new sea-crossing bridge because they had demonstrated their seriousness, caution, and project during this restoration. They also realized the strength of China's infrastructure at that time. China finally won the contract for this project after offering the lowest price in the bidding procedure, which came in at $7.2 billion. Japan, Germany, and the United Kingdom all filed bids for the project. In its entirety, the length of the bridge is 2.88 kilometers. The construction took around 5 years to reach its conclusion. It is equipped with 25,000 lights, it has 12 lanes that go in both directions, and it has a capacity of 300,000 vehicles per day, which is more than that of the Oakland Bay Bridge. Lights that are efficient in their use of energy may be transformed into a range of different visuals. This bridge is the longest single-tower self-anchored seismic suspension steel bridge with the biggest span. It also has a steel structure that can withstand earthquakes that weighs 45,000 tons and is made of steel. Because of China's relatively inexpensive labor and raw material costs, the United States was able to realize a total cost reduction of $400 million for the project as a whole. The bridge is still operational and has not been involved in any major mishaps to this day, provided that it is maintained in excellent shape. 100 years from now, it is not predicted that there would be any big problems. Bridge maintenance is always required, regardless of how beautiful the bridge may be. In China, for example, bridge maintenance often consists of a variety of tasks, including inspection, testing, evaluation, repair, and strengthening. Bridges that have recently been built undergo routine inspections on an annual basis, and the State Department is normally in charge of their maintenance. The United States of America stands out from other countries. Recent years have seen a decline in the quality of the infrastructure in the United States. 1 out of every 5 bridges in the United States is in need of maintenance or a full rebuild. However, by 2025, the amount of finance that would be required for the nation's infrastructure will be in excess of $2 trillion. On the one hand, it is difficult to convince private companies to participate in the development of infrastructure due to the scale of the investment required and the length of time required for a return on the investment. Across the United States, there are a number of highway bridges that are in severe need of repair and reconstruction. On the other hand, this is a long way off. In light of this, what are your thoughts? Share your opinion in comments. Also, click on this video to watch about another amazing project.